Hi, I'm Rob, and welcome to the Electrolander Project. What is the Electrolander Project, you ask? This is where I'm going to take a 70-year-old Cushman Highlander motor scooter and turn it into an electric bike. If you're just tuning in for the first time, hi, welcome in. Please excuse the bad set, lighting, sound, all of that. I'm just a guy in his garage trying to turn a 70-year-old motor scooter into an electric motor scooter. If you are returning, hi, thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully this should be the last flashback episode. It should be half flashback, half real. You're finally caught up. Anyway, get into the video and we'll explain the crazy title.
So here we have the body removed from the bike. Everything's been pulled out of it. It's just the body sitting by itself. Looks pretty good, right? See that bar across the bottom with the 4 bolts holding it on? Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. That was my first worry. So looking at the inside of the body, there's 3 things here that worry me. One, you see those 2 straps that used to hold the gas tank on? That didn't look like the way it was supposed to be mounted to me. I wasn't exactly sure how it was supposed to be, but that just didn't look right. Then, you see that blue circle near the top of the frame? I'm like, what is this blob? I really wasn't sure what that was. And then the circle at the bottom, there's a tab down there. But we'll see later that tab should be a bar going all the way across to the other side that's been cut off of this bodywork. So here's a different bike that I saw at the Cushman National Convention last summer. And that's how the gas tank's supposed to mount to the frame. There are 4 J-hooks that bolt through the frame rails itself, and then the straps attached to the J-hooks. So, mine's completely wrong. I know what you're thinking, but Rob, you're going to make it an electric bike. You don't need a gas tank. What does it matter? Well, A, I'd like to be able to convert it back to gasoline someday in the future. Perhaps if I want to sell the bike, it'll be probably worth more as a gasoline bike, as a collector bike. And I'm probably going to mock up a fake gas tank and mount it in the same spot to hold the charger and the extension cord for the charger. Aha! So here are 2 more similar Cushman Highlanders to mine. They're not identical to mine, but they're similar enough that I saw at the Cushman National Convention. And look at those straps going across the frame, left to right, circled in blue. That's what those tabs are on my bodywork. They should be that bar going all the way across, and that's what mounts the front to the rear fender. So here I've taken the straps for the gas tank off because they're totally wrong. And I've taken that bar off of the bottom and, oh, hey, look at that. The bike was originally blue, not red. It was available in blue, red, black, and cream, I believe, for this series. Also notice just how wavy the bottom edge of that metal is. That's going to figure in later. So remember that bar across the bottom that was missing in the last photo and I told you to pay attention to in the first photo? Here it is, flipped over. And I just got to wonder if that handwritten MTD on there means this thing was actually a lawnmower blade that somebody put on there trying to pull straight the sheet metal at the bottom of the body, or just hide the fact that the sheet metal wasn't straight at the bottom of the body. So by this point, I had gotten in far enough to realize, yeah, there's some body work that needs to be done to this before we can, make it pretty. So here are all of the red parts, all the big red parts, anyway, dropped off at the blast shop to be bead blasted all the way down to bare metal. And here's another view of the parts. If you look at that big square on the frame where I ground away all the paint, That was actually the straw that broke the camel's back. The big hole up near the top of that scribed up area is where the headlight switch goes through. And when I removed the headlight switch, that panel was a quarter of an inch thick. And like, this was not made with quarter-inch thick sheet metal. And I started grinding at it, and just that whole area was nothing but Bondo. So I ground it all off and then decided to send all the parts to the blast shop and have them blasted down to bare metal. And so we can see what it is we're actually working with. And there you have what we're actually working with. The nice people at the blast shop actually called me up and said, we've hit some Bondo. Do you want us to keep going? I'm like, yes, please. I need to see just how bad this is. And take a look, folks. It's just how bad this is. And now you can see with all of the paint and Bondo and everything blasted out of there, this is right down to the bare steel. You can see just how dented that frame was. I don't know what somebody crashed into. They hit something hard to be able to bend that triangulated piece of sheet metal there. So we got a long way to go. And here's the changing direction from the title. So my friend Tom is a professional body man, and at the beginning of the pandemic he said, yeah, I'll restore the bike for you, no problem. I'm like, great. So I gave him all of the sandblasted parts, and he started into it, and then he got distracted, and then he went back into it, and he called me up and he goes, Rob, this is going to take me over a month full time to make this bike right. Maybe you should just make a rat rod out of it. And I'm like, well, there goes the coral and gloss black paint job I was thinking about doing. But I don't like rat rods. So I said, Tom, can we paint it back red the way it was before? And we will make it mechanically perfect, but it'll just have an ugly body. And he said, yeah, I can do that, and I'll straighten out the frame, and I'll straighten out the handlebars so it tracks properly. But that sheet metal on the body is just too far gone to do anything with. I'm like, all right. So he came over to my house and brought all of his professional paint stuff with him, and we started painting parts. So here's the frame after we laid down some paint on there. That, by the way, is not an exact match for what was on it when I bought it. I can't figure out what the heck was on it when I bought it, because clearly it wasn't the original color. The closest match I could come up with was Massey Ferguson Tractor Red. And how's that for clever? I don't need to dry clothes on the clothesline. I should paint parts on the clothesline.
Okay, well, that's it for episode 8. And glad you were here. From now on, we should be moving forward in real time.